Bro, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo of Brass Ring Media, and it is the Daily Wrestling Hotline for Saturday, May 31st, 2025. May is coming to an end, and that means June is busting out all over. That is from the play Carousel, if you aren't familiar. Rogers and Hammerstein, classic. I was a part of that, was one of the sailors in it. That was many years ago, and don't know why I brought that up. But hey, we got some theater to talk about today when it comes to women's wrestling again. I'm just gonna ride this a little bit here. The past couple days is the hotline has been featured around that, and started with AEW embracing their women's division. Yesterday, I covered the aspect that the signings of, or the reported signing of Mariah May going to WWE at some point here. And today I'm going to talk about Lyra Valkyria and what a very polarizing figure in pro wrestling had to say about her. I thought this was appropriate considering that I just viewed LJ Cleary, who is the fiance of Lyra Valkyria, and then just her promo this past week on Raw and what WWE's been doing with her. Now, I literally just got done watching a YouTube clip of Vince Russo tearing Lyra apart and saying that she doesn't have it. She doesn't have the X factor, or so to speak, or everything like that. And I just completely disagree with that thought process. I don't think we've seen all of Lyra Valkyria, and what we have seen is just a baby face kind of on the rise. And then WWE being willing to put her out there and just see how she does. And honestly, her promo wasn't that badly on Monday. It wasn't. I mean, I think there's more that you can to do to connect her to the audience and certain things like that, but she's going to get there. I mean, the fact that she's worked with Becky Lynch, the fact that she's been in the NXT system and things like that, it's just like, this is still a really, really new talent. And some of these talents just catch on quicker from different standpoints. She's great being in the ring. She's got a good charisma, good body language, and good presence. The fact is like promos is something harder to do, especially as a baby face, that you're trying to find who you are and you're trying to connect with fans. I think to an extent she already has connected with fans. And I just completely disagree with what Vince Russo had to say about any of this. Like, he even brought up Road Dogg, was apparently on his show at one point when Dog wasn't a part of WWE and he was in between. I don't even know if he was doing the podcast that I used to produce with him at the time. But he was talking about Dakota Kai and how great she is and the potential that she has. And Vince says, no, she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it. And Dog was like, no, she does. She does. You wait and see. You wait and see. And fortunately, we didn't get to really wait and see. I think injuries came into play with how Dakota's career transpired in WWE. And it was unfortunate. I don't think we got to see all of Dakota Kai. We saw her have a really good heel run, but I thought there was so much value in her as a babyface too at the same time. And I was excited to see what they were going to do with her. Unfortunately, she didn't. WWE released her. Doesn't mean that she won't come back or anything to that effect. We've seen that happen with several talents. They leave and then they come back and they feel like a bigger deal. I mean, Cody Rhodes, perfect example of that. Now, when it comes to Lyra Valkyria, there's a reason they're keeping her in the title picture of the Intercontinental Championship. She's, the inaugural one, and they have a lot of confidence in her, and that's not without reason. I don't think. I think they do see the potential for talent there. The perfect example of this, of somebody finding their identity, when maybe there wasn't that great of a connection with fans, is Lyra Valkyria's current adversary, Becky Lynch. I think it was Magnum TA who brought this up to me, was like, Becky, you think about her before she got her nose busted by Nia Jax. She was wearing goggles. She still had the theme music and all that stuff, but it was very steampunk and it wasn't necessarily really connecting with fans in a lot of ways. And, but lo and behold, she gets her nose busted. There's the rise of the man, the beginning of the man identity that we have a connection with, and that she was able to connect with fans, and she arguably became the biggest star in wrestling at the time. And that is one way that things can happen. Obviously, look at what Austin 316. Austin just said that on the spur of a moment, and it caught wildfire, and it was off to the races with him. Now, will there be a moment for Lyra to do that? I would imagine maybe at some point there is, but the interesting thing that I really did want to make a point about this on the hotline is speaking with LJ Cleary. I asked him, what do you think fans have not seen of Lyra Valkyria yet? And he gave the thought that I gave to Magnum TA on my other show, was that she's good as a face, but you're going to really see a lot of her if they ever decide to turn her heel. And I completely can see that. And, if you are a talent and you have the opportunity to turn heel, it's easier for the fans to hate you than it is for them to like you. And the fact is like people like Lyra Valkyria. Now, I think again, her promo can get elevated. But I think she's still trying to find a voice, and she's still trying to find that connection that she can make with the fans. And that is not something that just happens on a whim here. I mean, it can, because you think about how things happen organically, but that opportunity has to just kind of cultivate itself organically. Now, I think her being in a heel role, it's going to really change the tone of who she is. And if you think about she comes out with the wings on and, the very aviary-esque for the bird term. But somebody online made a mention of her, imagine her with a black swan gimmick. And I'm like, holy crap, that is money right there. And I honestly do. I think that Lyra Valkyria is money. And we haven't seen the best of her yet by any stretch of the imagination. So, completely disagree with Vince Russo. I know a lot of people disagree with Vince Russo. But I just wanted to talk about that today, considering I just interviewed LJ and what WWE's been doing with Lyra Valkyria and the women's division. I've been talking about that for both of them the past couple days. So figure I would do that on this special episode, a Saturday version of the Daily Wrestling Hotline. Typically, I will be trying to do one every Monday through Friday. I may take Monday off simply because that's my birthday. I'm turning 40. Oh boy. Oh boy. Out of my wrestling prime. What can I do now? Well, you can see what I have done by checking out that LJ Cleary interview, which is up right now on Brass Ring Media. Also, speaking of Magnum TA, me, him, and Greg Gagne, we went live on Friday. That episode is up now on Brass Ring Media as well. We cover a lot of great ground on there. Some really, really fascinating stuff about is WWE washing themselves out of the goodwill of fans with the high ticket prices, with them potentially making the decision to have WrestleMania take place again in Las Vegas. What kind of missteps are those? Also, WWE being competitive with AEW and booking same weekends on big shows that they have. We talk about that. Lots of good topics covered. One of my favorite episodes actually we've ever done, to be honest. So take a look at that right now. If you haven't yet, Ashley Mann, she just did Kick-Ash this morning for the show, and she covers some good ground on that. So be sure to check her out too. She does some great work, man. You want to talk about good fan engagement? She does it right there. So props to Ashley, and props to you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to hear certain topics, let me know here. But yes, I did go live yesterday for the Daily Wrestling Hotline. First time I ever did that. So I'll try to maybe do that, make that a once a week thing or something like that. But we'll see how it goes. But thank you all for tuning in. And yes, thank you for enjoying the Daily Wrestling Hotline. Call 1-900-909-9900.